Welcome to Foundations of Emo, hosted by Claire and Dani. Each episode we take one of our favourite bands and dive deep into their history and origins, reminiscing on our own emo roots along the way.
I really wanted to make you laugh, but I was like, don't do it, because then it gets real painful by the 50th take.
But don't you have such a, I have a way of saying it, and you have a way of saying it. I know which parts I, use inflections, which parts I
People probably think it's recording because it's so professional.
It's so professional, yeah, but it's not. We do it every single time.
How are you? We have cocktails today.
We do. This one is disgusting. Okay, disgusting is a bit of an exaggeration. It's just not great.
I got you another one. We start recording now, so you're stuck with it.
It's just not what I was expecting. Oh. I don't like tequila, that could be it.
Oh yeah, because it's a mango margarita. And I'm still on the Hawaiian daiquiri. Any
news?
I actually have loads of things that I want to talk about. I made a little list because I kept thinking of things during the week and I was like, have to talk about them.
Oh yeah, go on.
Firstly, the last time that we recorded, I said I was going to go see The Weeknd, but I was also getting sick in the last episode and I was too sick to go. But I did lie in my bed and listen to it out the window because I do live close to Marley Park, so I could hear it all from my window and it sounded incredible. And I saw people on Instagram that were there and they had an amazing stage set up and everything.
I didn't hear much about it at all.
There was a girl that I used to work with years ago and she was there and she just kept going on live, but she was really, really, really drunk and she was just waving her camera around. I don't think she really realised that I couldn't see what she was trying to film. No. She's kind of just dancing with her camera.
Oh.
But I got to see some bits, so I was happy. Well, I wasn't that happy, but it was the comfiest I've ever been at a gig, lying in my bed, chilling in my pyjamas.
Yeah, that sounds alright to me, to be honest.
Speaking of gigs, I am obsessed with following the Fall Out Boy tour.
Yeah, I know, it's on so Twitter. Good, isn't it?
Every day Claire just wakes up to 800 messages from me that I just send her from Twitter. I'm like, look what they did on the tour.
They played this, they're going to do this, they're changing this.
They played Famous Less Than Infamy, which was my song on repeat, if you remember.
I do remember.
And they actually messed up during it because they've never played it live ever.
Aww.
And they messed up. There's a really funny video, actually, I'll show you later. But
I also woke up this morning to a really long, weird paragraph. And I kind of glanced at it when my alarm went off and then I hit snooze 5 million times. And then I looked at it again. And I thought you were sending me some sort of weird fanfic about Pete Wentz again. I was like, oh, what is this? It's not what it was at all.
Did you say about Pete Wentz again? That's something I do regularly.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that.
But I would like to say that on the Fall Out Boy episode, I berated them and said that while they are one of my favourite bands, their live shows are boring. And I'd like to think that they listened to that episode, took the advice, and now every night they're cranking out new tunes. No one knows what they're going to play. There's a magic 8 ball. There's so much going on. So I'm living for it. I can't wait till we see them. I've already told Claire I'm probably going to cry 400 times. Just the second they come on, I'll just start crying till the end.
Can't wait.
It's going to be a good time.
I'll bring the tissues. I do like to think we're influencing the way things are happening.
Yeah.
They were like, do you know what? Let's do a tour and let's make it really fun.
Will we get into it?
No, wait, hang on. I have to tell you my gig news.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, come on. Oh, yeah. Sorry, go on.
My really exciting gig news. I've just got caught up in the hype. Is that I got Taylor Swift tickets. Yes!
Good for you.
I just got swept up in all the whirlwind of it. And then people in work were like, do you like her that much? And I was like, I mean, she's grand. I just think it's going to be such an iconic tour. And you can be like, I was at the Eras tour. And Paramore is supporting.
Yeah. I don't know. I just can't get... Well, I'm not going. But I just can't be excited about it. Well, I don't like Taylor Swift. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But everything that you're talking about you and your friends having fucking spreadsheets and everything.
I don't have spreadsheets.
Trying to get tickets for different venues all over the world just so they could get a ticket. And they price the tickets and everything.
Yeah.
As much as I adore bands and gigs and stuff, I couldn't think of a band that I would go to that much effort for.
I know, and that's what I mean when I think I've just got caught up in the hype, because everyone else was getting all hyped up and I was like, yeah, come on, we get tickets, come on guys, let's have a strategy, let's do this. And I don't know if I care that much, but I'm really excited to go.
Well, I hope you enjoy it anyway.
Thanks so much.
Next year.
May 2024.
Check in this time next year about the gig.
Okay, you can start now. It's fine.
Okay, let's get into it. I feel like it's a lengthy one today. This is the episode on Escape the Fate, which will be known as the Roast of Ronnie Radke. I watched some videos and there was people referring to him as Ronnie Radke, but I have spent all my life calling him Ronnie Radke, so I will not pronounce it another way. Sorry to his mom or his family.
I think I just tend to what's the word? Level off when I get to his surname. I'm like, Ronnie Radke.
Ronnie Radke. So Escape the Fate formed in Las Vegas, Nevada in 2004. This is our second Las Vegas band, if you remember Panic at the Disco. Oh, there was actually other news. Brendan Urie is in a new band.
Stop.
So he quit Panic at the Disco, being the only member of Panic at the Disco, because his wife was pregnant and he wanted to spend time with her and the baby. But apparently he's bored of that now, because now he plays drums in a band.
Sorry. What?
I think it's called Mike Viola.
Is he the only one in it?
No, he's the drummer. It's a whole band.
He plays the drums.
Yeah.
He's not even the front man.
No. Very weird for him.
I knew I had if you were his wife. You'd be like, excuse me.
I'm spending time with my wife. Ooh, I got sick of that quick. Gotta get out. Anyway, the founding members of the band were the vocalist Ronnie Radke, lead guitarist Brian Monty Money, bassist Max Green, drummer Robert Ortiz, keyboardist Carson Allen, and rhythm guitarist Omar Espinoza. That's some heck of a lineup to start a band with. They'd all been in various bands together over the years, and it was guitarist Brian Monty Money's idea to form Escape the Fate, recruiting the other guys at various stages. So I don't think they were all in a room and started the band all together, but then in drips and drabs, this became the lineup. So in September 2005, they won a radio contest that was being judged by none other than My Chemical Romance. The prize was to open for them on their headline show alongside other support acts Alkaline Trio and Reggie and the Full Effect. I still have no idea who Reggie and the Full Effect are, but they come up all the time.
You think we'd look them up? Nah.
You think? So following this and their self-released demo EP, they were offered a record deal with Epitaph Records. So, good for them.
Good for them indeed.
Absolutely. So once they signed, in May 2006, they released their debut EP, There's No Sympathy for the Dead, which featured 2 tracks, There's No Sympathy for the Dead and The Guillotine, which would go on to feature on their first album.
There's no sympathy. So I feel like you looked at me expectantly there.
Because I was going to say, did you listen to this EP? Because it's definitely something I used to listen to back in the day.
No. Do you know what? I probably did back in the day, but recently, no.
Oh, because I re-listened to it and it's still good. Got some bops on it. It's very similar to the first album, like the same vibe, it's really, really good. It's a 5-song EP and 2 songs are on the albums. After the release, keyboardist Carson Allen left to join a band called On the Last Day, which he then left to start another band called Me Versus Myself. And as you can tell, that went really well for him because I don't know either of those bands. In September 2006, they released their debut full-length album, Dying Is Your Latest Fashion.
So good.
Which is an absolute classic, I will say.
So good. This just makes me think of you.
I had it on when I was getting ready for you to come over and I was having such a bop.
So good. And Dani has the Ridge CD here. And I'm looking at it going, oh god, it's a CD. But also, we were just talking about this before we started the podcast. There's a little sticker on the front and it says a little blurb about the album and then saying who, if you like these bands, you might like it. So it's with intensely catchy songs, emotional screams, shredding guitars and hardcore breakdowns, Escape the Fate just might be your new favourite band. For fans of A.K.A, Under Oath, Taking Back Sunday and From First to Last.
But they're spot on.
We did all of those bands.
Exactly. So there's 2 singles from this album, Not Good Enough for Truth and Cliche and Situations. They were going to release Reverse This Curse as a single, but it was never released. But it did appear on the soundtrack of Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam and on the Warped Tour 2007 tour compilation album. If you know the iconic cover of this album, The Girl's Mouth, that is one of Ronnie's ex-girlfriends, Mandy Murders, which is just an excellent MySpace name, I will say. And she's also in the music video for Not Good Enough for Truth and Cliche.
Oh.
She's the girl, the love interest.
Do you think that piercing is real?
That piercing on the cover is the reason I got that piercing.
It just looks so sore.
It never healed and it was always gooey and it was on my mouth, so I didn't have the piercing for that long. Oh, sorry, Reverse This Curse wasn't supposed to be released. They were supposed to release The Webs We Weave, but Ronnie left the band, so they just never released it.
So everything I thought I knew about Escape the Fate was a lie. I thought we still hated Escape the Fate because Ronnie was in it.
He hasn't been in it for a long time.
Literally only on this album.
Yeah,
and this
the
is
EP.
my favourite album.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Ronald Joseph Radke.
Here we go. One
of the people that just grind my gears more than anyone else in the world. He just makes me furious at all times. So anyway, he was born in Las Vegas in 1983. He is part Blackfoot Indian and part Portuguese. His mother abused drugs and was absent from his childhood. which he said caused him to have a general lack of respect towards women as an adult.
Okay, I already hate him.
I fucking
Literally, I
hate
hate
this
him.
guy. I hate this guy. I was writing this with like angry tears in my eyes. He learned to play guitar and piano and was in several bands growing up before being one of the founding members of Escape the Fate. So just before Ronnie was kicked out in November 2007, Omar Espinoza, the rhythm guitarist, left, he said, due to personal issues, and he started another band called Perfect Like Me, who again, never heard of.
Yeah.
So in 2008, Ronnie, who was 22 at the time, was kicked out of the band. So this is a story. Wait for it. He had been involved in an altercation which resulted in the fatal shooting of 18-year-old Michael Cook. He was not the one to shoot him, but he was arrested because he was there when it happened, and he was arrested on battery charges because he had been involved in the fight, and when they searched him, he was found to have brass knuckles on him, which are illegal in Las Vegas. So this story, I actually didn't write it down because I knew I'd remember it because it's really disturbing. Apparently Ronnie was one of the ones who kind of started this fight with this other group of lads, and Ronnie brought his 2 friends out, and then 3 other guys came along and they met in a car park to have a fight.
Sounds so playgroundy.
Yeah. But the other guys came with weapons, I think. And like it just turned into this big brawl, and one of the guys got shot. So not on Ronnie's side. His friend whipped out a gun and shot, and Ronnie apparently didn't know his friend had a gun. But a guy died. An 18-year-old died in this altercation. Ronnie was there, didn't shoot anyone. His friend shot. And then the third guy that was with them went on in later years to kill himself because he couldn't live with like the guilt and everything that happened. So it's a really intense story. So Ronnie was given 5 years probation. He'd already had a record for previous narcotics offences, but in June 2008 he was arrested and sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for violating the probation because he didn't report to his probation officer, apparently.
Oh, so he wasn't actually sent to prison for the fight?
No. He was like put on probation for that.
Yeah.
But then he just couldn't obey the rules, which is how he ended up in fucking prison for 2.5 years.
What a dope.
So they kicked him out of the band because they wanted to continue the band and the singer was in prison. So they just...
Fair enough.
Kicked him out. So Craig Mabbitt of Bless the Fall was seeking a new band, and he had previously played with Escape the Fate on the Black on Black tour. He did a few trial shows with the band before they officially accepted him as their new lead singer. And then just a little bit about Craig. He suffered extreme asthma as a child and frequently had to use a nebulizer. He also had to attend a special class because of his speech disorder. The irony of me not being able to say that. He overcame both of these issues to pursue his dream of becoming a rock singer.
I feel really bad because I've just been hating on him because thinking he was Ronnie Radke.
So he played with Bless the Fall for 4 years before leaving mid-tour due to personal reasons. And while singing with Escape the Fate in 2008, he co-founded The Word Alive.
There they are again.
As a side project. But after recording an EP that was never released, the band dropped him, citing complications due to his involvement with Escape the Fate. So I think it was... That sounds spicy. I didn't really find much on it. It might just have been like, you can't do both, basically.
Yeah.
But I just think it's funny he's a founding member and they kicked him out.
Poor old Craig.
So, get ready for this.
Oh, God.
At the first show with Craig as the singer of Escape the Fate, Ronnie was in the audience. So he got kicked out before he went to jail because they knew he was going to jail. So, he was still out of prison at this time. But he was in the audience while they were performing and he was shouting at Craig. Craig got mixed up and like forgot some of the lyrics because he was so taken aback by Ronnie shouting at him. And he was getting all the crowd to shout at the band as well. So they were just about to start playing The Flood and Ronnie and the crowd were like hurling insults. So bassist Max Green grabs the mic and says, "This next song is called If I Could Stay Clean, I Could Stay With My Band." And Ronnie shouts back, "I can stay fucking clean, you dick." And this is all on a video, like I've watched this.
Oh no.
So they start the song and the lyrics are meant to be, "I can't believe the drama that I'm in, the flood is getting closer." But Craig like grabbed the mic and started singing and he goes, "I can't believe the drama that I'm in." Sorry, Max stepped in and goes, "All because I'm leaving you behind." So like, it was very dramatic, honestly.
This Max guy, he sounds great.
Yeah, I like him. So Craig versus Ronnie became this big thing in the scene and fans were wearing like Team Ronnie t-shirts to Escape the Fight shows just to start drama.
Ugh.
So eventually Ronnie was sent to prison.
Thank
Yay!
God. Goodbye.
So apparently it wasn't that easy to bring him to prison because he went missing. He was on the news, like Fox News in America, looking for him. And there ended up being a sting operation with undercover cops and a police helicopter to finally get him.
What a waste of resources.
It's just so funny, like, seeing the Fox... I actually, like, saw the news report, and it's, like, this Fox News lady, and she's like, we are looking for the singer Ronnie Radke. But she's all official, and then it shows a picture of him looking like, Jesus, I don't know. So in prison, Ronnie was still somehow able to update his blog, and he would write scathing attacks to his former bandmates, saying things like, Escape the Fate is me, and will always be me, and you will forever live in my shadows.
Well, no, I did think Escape to Fate was him, to be fair.
He also wrote messages to the new singer Craig, such as, I didn't say anything about this before, but you really are trying to be like me. Fucking my ex-girlfriend now, huh? So tell me, how does my dick taste? And my microphone. How is it living my life? Must be pretty rad. I would know. Don't get used to it. When I get out, there won't be much left for you to live in, because the real deal will be back. But hey, maybe you could sing backup in my new band. Oh, Ronnie.
Imagine him sitting in his little prison cell being so angry, right?
Yeah, and everyone's just like out there living their life and doesn't
exactly.
give a fuck. Craig was actually going out with Mandy Murders.
Oh!
Yeah. Don't know how he found out about that in prison, but anyway. So in 2008, he posted another message to Max Green saying, It has only just begun. A storm is coming and you can't stop it. I would rather be in prison and happy because I know who I am and what I have become than be in a band with a bunch of liars and backstabbers. Like I said before, I am your foundation. No matter where you go and what you do, I'll always be in your head. You must not remember the day we were all at Omar's and you all walked in with your seashell necklaces and Quicksilver t-shirts. After I got finished, you left looking just like me, because that's what you will always be, an image of me and what I made you.
Sorry, I just love the effort you're putting into it.
Actually, like, really hurt my throat being Ronnie Radke.
Very good, very good.
So Ronnie went on to start a band called Falling in Reverse, which were originally called From Behind These Walls, because he formed when he was in prison. So the members were friends of his. They were very active on social media. They visited him in prison, but they couldn't really be a band until he was released. So they were basically just a MySpace page, which, I mean, we can relate.
I was going to say, that sounds familiar.
Back to Escape the Fate. They began to record their second full-length album, This War Is Ours, which was released in October 2008. The album was produced by John Feldman, motherfucker!
What? I didn't even know that!
Of course it was!
Are we just making this up now? Are we just putting him in every
John Feldman
episode?
doesn't even exist. It was released to mixed reviews by critics. To promote the album, the month before its release, fans of Escape the Fate could go to a special page on BuzzNet to help unlock the first track. So once the page had 50,000 viewers at the same time, the new song was then released to play and download for free. So there had to be 50,000 people on the website at the same time. So if you went on and left, that didn't count. Like, there had to be 50,000 at the same time. So it took them 30 hours to achieve this, which I actually think is good going. Like, I think that'd be really hard to do.
Yeah, fair play. That's such a clever idea. So
the title track on the album is actually called This War Is Ours, and then brackets The Guillotine 2. And it's a sequel to The Guillotine from their first album. So The Guillotine from their first album is So Lock and Load, Mercenaries. Before the tour for the album, the band had never completed a full tour, but toured both the US and Europe for this release. In 2020, Epitaph re-released this album in a deluxe CD-DVD edition, which included new songs, a remix of the title track by Sean Crahan of Slipknot, and a DVD featuring music videos, a world tour documentary, and a behind the music feature, which is just standard, I suppose, for every band, as we've learned.
Where's the live album?
They had started work on their third album as soon as This War Is Ours was released, and this would become the self-titled album, which would be released in November 2010. They were supposed to tour the US, Canada, and Europe prior to the album's release, but had to pull out as bassist Max Green was admitted to rehab.
No.
In May, they joined the second half of Papa Roach's Raid the Nation tour with TJ Bell from Motionless in White on bass. However, they released no formal statement about this. So basically, people like saw them on stage and saw like pictures of them online and stuff, and was like, "Is that the guy from Motionless in White?" But they never like talked about it or anything. He was just there. What did you think about these albums?
I have notes. I don't know. Right, let me check. What did you think about them?
I have notes.
Oh no, I don't have notes about this one. These two.
You don't?
No, just the ones after this.
So This War Is Ours, I think there are vibes off the original Escape the Fate. Now it sounds different because it's not with Ronnie, but there are still vibes. Like some of the songs I was like, okay, no, that sounds like it could be Escape the Fate. It's very melodic. Like it's quite, I find it really generic.
I don't think they sound that different, Ronnie and Craig. clearly not if I thought they were the same person for the last
I think
7 minutes.
Ronnie's just more like, lock in love. He has this like horrible like twang to his voice that Craig doesn't have. Craig just has a normal voice without the weird accent.
Well, I know what you mean. It's very generic.
Yeah, it's like, I wrote here, like, not reinventing the wheel. It's like, how do we write an emo kind of rock song? Oh yeah, this is how you do it. But it's not like anything interesting. And then the self-titled one, I get big Linkin Park vibes off this.
Like early Linkin Park?
Yes, there is one song that I was like, this could be on Hybrid Theory. And his voice sometimes really sounds like Chester.
Okay, yeah.
But like very early Linkin Park.
Interesting take.
But then it has like Avenged Sevenfold guitars, and I found like with most of their songs, it's like the albums aren't cohesive at all.
That's exactly, I know what you mean completely. It's just, I don't know, I find them difficult to listen to be honest.
Yeah, because like it's like 1 minute you're like, oh, this is kind of like, oh, this is kind of a poppy rock song, like it's easy to listen to, it's like a bit cheesy, the lyrics are usually quite cheesy.
They're quite cheesy.
And the next thing, like the guy's like the next song comes on and he's screaming, and then the next song is all like guitars, it sounds like cock rock or hair metal kind of thing, and I'm just like,
bands pick a lane.
But bands can experiment and try different genres, but like not on the one album, because it's really confusing. I couldn't figure out who would enjoy listening to that album start to finish.
And now that you've said that, I would always think of Escape to Fate. I'd never say, do you know what, I'm going to listen to an album by Escape to Fate. I'll be like, oh, listen to that song. And it's probably because I can't listen to a full album, because it's never the right vibe, because there's so many different vibes.
Yeah, that's, like, I was kind of getting into one or two of the albums, and I was like, listening, I'm like, oh, this is all right, yeah. And the next thing, it just takes a turn, and I'm like, no, this isn't what I want to listen to at all. This is not the same. The self-titled album is the first album where the whole lineup would be there to write and record it in full. They felt that this would be a great representation of who they were. For this album, the band left Epitaph and signed with major label Interscope. Bassist Max Green said, "This record is the cure for the modern day music epidemic. We're wiping the slate clean and rewriting rock music as you know it." Lyrically, the album is darker and heavier. They felt that this was them and the direction that they wanted to take in the future. So Craig Mabbitt said, "This record has the heaviest song the band has ever written. It has the softest ballad the band has ever written. It has the craziest solo Monty has ever written. The whole record just has everything in it." Well, like genuinely, that's the problem.
Yeah. That's not
Why does it have to have everything in it? The track Lost in Darkness tells the story about one of Craig's friends who was dragged out of her home and raped at gunpoint.
Okay, I did not get those vibes.
Yeah, I didn't get it either, and I read this and I was shocked. I was like, why would you want to write a song about your friend who got raped? Sorry, we should have put a trigger warning here. He said, "She was screaming for help and nobody helped her at all. Everybody just turned the other cheek. That was something that really struck me, and I see that happening a lot. Just people not wanting to lend a helping hand to people when somebody is hurting. That's definitely where I went with that song."
Sorry, but I think there's a little bit of a difference between not lending a helping hand when someone is hurting and someone being dragged out and sexually assaulted at gunpoint.
I know! Like, if I was that friend, I would be like, thanks for turning
belittling my experience
and turning my trauma into a song for your shit album. I just don't understand the thought process behind that.
It's definitely where I went with that song. Like, right, thanks.
So the closing track, The Aftermath, it's called in brackets G3 because it's the next follow-up to The Guillotine.
Why are they so obsessed with The Guillotine?
Well, I'm going to tell you. So the first The Guillotine from Dying Is Your Latest Fashion is actually based on the video game Halo. So the second was based more on real soldiers in a battlefield. And the third was more personal, based on Craig's dad, who was in the military.
I was going to ask you, I was getting many dad vibes off these albums. It's always talking about their dad.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, I mean, on the first album, they have The Day I Left the Womb.
Mother.
That is a song. So this album is 11 tracks long to keep it manageable, but the band originally wanted the songs, which would eventually become bonus tracks on the deluxe edition of the album, to be on the original album too. Craig jokingly said that they had recorded almost 2 albums worth of material and that he wanted to release a 20-track album.
Thank God.
Nobody wants that. Imagine how many different genres would be on it. In August 2011, they announced that Monty Money, the lead guitarist, would be taking a break from touring. They also stated that Max Green was back after taking a break for the first half of the year to recover from his drug addiction. He said, "I'm feeling great and I'm glad to be back with my band. Escape the Fate is my life. This is where I belong." They played a few shows on the 2011 Uproar Festival and then Max left again.
Oh, Max.
So that's the only reason I included the statement, because it was like, He's back. He's not back.
He's back, baby.
And now he's gone, baby. So Zach Sandler from Black Tide, who were also playing the festival, filled in for him, and then TJ Bell from Motionless in White continued to fill in for him until early 2012. So in December 2011, the band re-entered the studio to start production on their fourth album with John Feldman. Craig said that the next album would be similar to This War Is Ours, but with elements of the self-titled. In March 2012, Max Green announced on Twitter that he was no longer part of Escape the Fate. He stated that it was mainly due to personal and musical differences. In an interview with AP, Craig hinted that his departure was due to drugs.
That's so awkward.
And Max went on to join the band The Natural Born Killers.
So awkward, and he's like, this band is my life, it's where I belong. And it's like, bye.
So in the alternative press interview, the band stated that TJ Bell is an official member, along with Michael Money, who's Monty Money's brother.
Is this their actual name?
No, it was something Monty Money. I can't remember his first name, but like he just goes by Monty.
Yeah.
So Craig stated that Michael would have already been an official member if it wasn't for ex-members of the band refusing. In May 2012, drummer Robert Ortiz advised that they were in the process of switching labels as they felt the Interscope had too much creative control over the band. So in December, they released a short clip of forthcoming track Ungrateful with a statement about joining 11-7 Music and being sponsored by Monster for 2013.
Random.
In January 2013, they headlined a free show in Hollywood as a promotion for the album, which was called Ungrateful and was released in May 2013. In the end, only 6 of the 11 tracks were produced by John Feldman.
And they were probably the best 6.
And the song Picture Perfect was composed with Patrick Stump of Fall Out Boy.
What?
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's a very bizarre crossover.
Yeah.
In September, they announced that Monty and Michael refused to go on tour with Five Finger Death Punch, so they would be replacing them for the tour.
Why did they refuse?
Do you know what? I was literally Googling for ages, are Five Finger Death Punch like problematic? Are they like, what are there issues with them? Like I could not find. Now the only thing is they're really controversial because apparently they're really shit. I don't know them. I know the name, but I don't know them.
My ex really liked them, so that says it all really.
Yeah, just like people are like, it's kind of, you'd be laughed at if you said they were your favourite band kind of thing. That's the only like controversy I could find about them, is that they're not good.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they didn't want to go on tour with them. I don't know. I felt like there should have been like a reason for it.
Yeah.
But anyway, the band released an official statement, which I will say is not very professional. So they said, "Hey guys, we know there has been some rumours going around, so we want to clear the air, give it to you, the fans, straight up. No bullshit or lies. So here it goes. First and foremost, you can be sure that we are still doing this Five Finger Death Punch tour. So what's the problem, you ask? Well, once again, for what seems like the 100th time, Monty has refused to tour. He has let us down and left us hanging to find a replacement only a few days before our flights to the first date. This is not the first time we've been stranded without him. We're very upset, but still would like to apologise to all of you for his actions. We have been let down just as much as you, the fans, have been let down. Without airing too much dirty laundry about this, yes, more details will surface very soon. There is something positive coming out of this situation. Not only have we found someone more than capable to fill the role for the road, not a replacement. TJ is going to be moving to rhythm guitar, and we're excited to announce that Max Green will be returning to bass. He's back, baby!"
Wait a second. Was it not some really awkward interviews where they were like...
So weird. So he said, Max Green is returning, which would have never been previously possible because someone refused to tour if he was with us. But on a good note, we're all very hyped for this tour and can't wait to see you all once again. We're very sorry to those of you who are upset about this news, but our hands are tied on this one. I guess there's just never enough drama with this band, but the show still goes on. Thank you for your support. Is that not like the bitchiest statement you've ever heard in your entire life? Like, how is this a band's official statement?
Someone didn't want them to come back.
It's so childish.
So much shade.
But when Michael joined the band, they were like, Max left and Michael joined the band, and they were like, well, Michael could never have joined the band because someone didn't want him in. So then when Michael and thing weren't there and Max came back, they were like, well, he couldn't have been in the band if they were in the band. And it's like, I get it. They don't like each other.
Wait, is Michael still in the band?
No, Michael and Monty, the two brothers, said they wouldn't go on this tour.
Oh, right.
Just on the tour. That's the worst part. They didn't leave the band.
Yeah.
And they're releasing statements like this. And then like you see them the following week, you're like, hey dudes.
Yeah.
Sorry about blasting you on social media like that. So it was later announced in another interview that Max Green was back for good and Kevin Gruft was the new lead guitarist. In May 2014, Max Green left again. This time stating, like, I mean, this guy needs to get a grip. You're in or you're out, man. You're in or you're out. He stated lack of fulfillment and passion.
This guy is like one of these guys who breaks up with you so many times and then keeps getting back
together. He's like, actually, I realised I love you.
It's not you, it's me. Wait a second, there's not enough passion in this relationship.
3 days later, it was announced that Max had joined Ronnie Radke's band, Falling in Reverse.
Oh no.
Which he then left a few months after joining.
I started off really liking this Max guy, and I'm like,
what is he on? Well, drugs.
ah, yes.
So they announced that they would start recording their 5th album in May 2015. This is the first album with neither Monty nor Michael Money. It was produced by Howard Benson, who did 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge.
Oh.
And Kelly Clarkson. He did other things,
Kelly
but I just thought they were funny. I actually, when I saw the name Howard Benson, I was like, I know this guy from somewhere.
Is he a man of Pop Idol? No.
No, but he's in, like, the documentaries to do with My Chemical Romance. There's, like, interviews with him and stuff, because I was like, Howard Benson, I know this guy. So in August, the whole band changed their social media photos to say 8/18/15. And on that date, they released the single Just a Memory for free online and officially announced their new album, Hate Me, and a world tour. However, the information had been leaked online 3 days previously. The album is lyrically inspired by the hate that they've received over the years. I see that, yeah. Loudwire reviewed it and stated that some tracks are polished and radio friendly while there are harder edged moments with harsh vocals, but ultimately they described it as one of the strongest albums of their career.
Do you think so? What did I write about this album?
I don't know. This album and the one before it, I mean, it's more the same. It's just not cohesive. It's all over the place. It's generic. The lyrics are cheesy. There's like...
Do you know, I kind of felt that with all the albums. I didn't know what album I was listening to. I was like, these all sound the same. And their songs are very... Once you listen to them once, you can sing along to them.
Yeah.
You'd be like...
Very
One, two, it's like, oh, I know the chorus now because they all sound the same.
Yeah, no, there's really nothing going on here that's interesting to talk about. And it's so funny because their Wikipedia page just kind of stops around here. And then it just is like, in 2018 they released this album, and 2017 they released this album. And that's it. It's like, there's nothing else. There's nothing about the recording. There's nothing about, like, I had to go on like big deep dives to find more information about it because I was getting nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody cares enough, and I really think like that
everyone gave up.
Yeah.
Don't blame them.
In 2016 they covered My Chemical Romance's Dead for a rock sound tribute album. I will never listen to that. I never want that song destroyed that way.
Yeah, no, God, I can't even imagine what that would sound like.
I hate the idea of it.
Yeah.
I had to write it down because I was so angry about it.
Why did they do that?
Why did they do that? Why? I don't know. So in November 2017, they released the first single, Empire, from their next album, I Am Human, which was set to be released in February 2018, but was ultimately delayed until March. This is their 6th album, and it was also produced by Howard Benson. It got mixed reviews, but the general consensus is that it's radio-friendly and formulaic, doesn't break any barriers, centres around heartbreak, but ultimately is quite surface level. And it features the song Let Me Be, which is also on Hate Me. And apparently that was some issues to do with the label, but that song is on like 2 albums.
Oh.
And it's terrible.
Maybe that's why I think they all sound the same. It's the same song.
No, it's a really bad song. It's really bad. So
bad they did it twice.
Yeah. It's very bizarre. That album, I think, is the one that's decent enough. It's just very like poppy and very like easy to listen to. It's not.
Do you know, it's their lyrics make me cringe so bad.
So cheesy.
Yeah.
There's like really bad lyrics, like on all albums across the board. It's just like, you hate me, I hate myself. It's just like,
yeah, it's just very like something. If I was 12 and I was like, I'm gonna write a song, that's what I'd do. Like, I had a bad day at school. Like,
but I will go on for my friends.
I'll go back tomorrow.
It's so bad. Like, I don't know. I'd listened to 1 or 2 of their like newer songs because all I knew was Dani's Latest Fashion. So I listened to 1 or 2 of the newer songs and I was like, they don't sound so bad. And like, they don't, as you said, when you listen to like one song, you're like, that's all right. Yeah. Trying to get through the albums, I found it hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're kind of like, oh, this song's alright. And then the next one, you're like, God, no, absolutely not.
And I definitely know songs from the albums. Like, because I listened to them and be like, oh, I know someone sing along to it. And then when I went to see them at Leeds, I knew all the songs, but all the ones in between, I haven't a clue.
Yeah. In August 2020, they released Walk On, the first single from their follow-up album, Chemical Warfare. They released 2 more singles, including Not My Problem, featuring Travis Barker, because he has to be on everything, and then released the album in April 2021. The album was produced by the band's lead guitarist, Kevin Gruft, alongside John Feldman.
Love him.
Travis Barker actually appears on 3 of the songs.
Oh, of course,
which I saw in like the writing credits. So I was like, why does
how does he have time for all this?
He doesn't sleep. He only drums.
And makes babies.
So Kerrang described the album as their most pop-leaning and experimental, but stated that it doesn't go so far as to alienate fans. So there's a quote that says, dialed down the heaviness a few notches, they've kept the huge hooks and sweeping melodies. It actually got generally positive reviews stating that they've gone a little poppier, kept their sound, and they're having fun. And to be honest, when I listened to this album for the first time, it sounded fun to me.
Yeah.
It's like, they don't take themselves seriously. They know they're not, like, doing anything amazing, but they're like, we know what we're doing, we just do it. That's the vibes I got. Could be completely wrong.
They're your vibes.
And I was like, yeah, they're just going with it. Like, we're shite, but we'll just keep on. So 5 days after the release of the album, they announced that they would be releasing Chemical Warfare B-sides in June of that year. Mid-September 2021, Kevin Gruft was absent from a show and Matty Hoffman took his place as lead guitarist. Later, Kevin was missing from their social media pages, but Eric Jensen was added as a permanent bassist. In December 2022, the band released a new photo shoot to promote them playing the Blue Ridge Rock Festival, but Kevin was missing from the photos. An official statement has yet to be released. Like, literally to this day. They've just never said anything. He's just gone.
Has anyone checked into Kevin? Is Kevin alright? Like,
is he alright? He's good to see.
They buried him in their backyard.
So far this year, they've released, I said 3 singles, but I actually think there's 4. Because they have a new song out with, like, Ice Nine Kills and other people. Mm-hmm. That song's alright, actually.
It is actually alright, yeah.
So the other 3 singles are Hate Myself, Low, and Cheers to Goodbye. I listened to them today. They're fine. I just gotten to a point with them where I'm like, I know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm never going to listen to them again. So they're thought to be part of their forthcoming 8th studio album, Out of the Shadows, which is due for release in September.
Can't wait.
They're just churning out the albums, to be fair to them. So Robert Ortiz, the drummer, is the only original member that's been there since 2004. And then Craig has been the singer since 2008.
And that's it.
And then TJ Bell has been on and off since 2012. But Eric, the bassist, and Matty on the guitar are only around since 2021. Like, this band is just...
It's a whole new band again.
Yeah, basically. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about Ronnie Radke. Now, people could argue with me and say that I should have a Falling in Reverse episode if I want to talk about him because he was only a part of Escape the Fate for a little while. But I never want to do a Falling in Reverse episode.
No, because that means you have to listen to them. So.
I gotta get all my anger out here. So here's a few more reasons why we should all hate Ronnie Radke.
Let's go.
In May 2012, he was accused of hitting his girlfriend at the time, Sally Watts, and he was arrested in August for failing to show up for any of the court hearings about it. He was charged with a misdemeanor count of corporal injury and false imprisonment, but was released on bail.
Hate him.
This was after he'd been in prison, and I feel like if he was already in prison, I know it was a different kind of offence,
but it doesn't matter.
He has a record.
It's such a problem with the justice system, Jesus.
Yeah, it's like, that's wild to me that he could then go on to hit his girlfriend and like nothing come of it after he'd all been...
And after he doesn't show up to court, like...
Yeah, because he's not fucking arsed. And also it said false imprisonment, which was weird.
Yeah, what was he doing to her? Tying her up?
I don't know. Really fucking disturbing. In September 2012, he was performing with Falling in Reverse at the Six Flags Fright Fest and threw 3 mic stands into the audience, injuring several people.
Of course he did.
Like, do you know the weight of a mic stand?
Did he not learn from Sonny Moore?
Well, Sonny Moore threw himself into the audience.
Oh, right, yeah.
Mic stands are really fucking heavy.
Dick, like, I can just
imagine. And there's videos of him doing it. And he's just like,
yeah, exactly. I was going to say, just be like, eh.
So a 16-year-old girl was taken to hospital and another guy was like treated on the scene with like serious injuries. So he was charged with simple assault and aggravated assault, but was released on bail.
What's simple assault?
Just like, boo. But like, again, this is the same year he's also hit his girlfriend and he's out of prison for battering someone.
And he's just on bail.
Why does this keep happening? They're just like, yeah, he's grand. So Six Flags have actually banned all rock and metal bands from performing at any other, that's like a chain of theme parks.
Yeah.
So they won't have any rock or metal bands there anymore because of that. Because of Ronnie Radke.
Great.
Then in June 2015, he was accused of sexual assault by a 25-year-old woman after a show.
There we go. It's been a while since we did a pervert.
They found no evidence, so the charges were dropped. And he actually went on to file a defamation case against her.
He can't sue someone for defamation. He's done enough defaming himself.
Yeah, well, everyone thought he was a stand-up guy before this. Anyone who, like, goes and tries to do a defamation case or something about an accuser, like someone who's accusing you of that, you're hurting other victims. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Other people won't come forward, like, who have actual, real, genuine, like, have been assaulted. I'm not saying this woman hasn't, because we don't know. It'll stop people coming forward because they'll be afraid they'll be sued.
Yeah, but he doesn't care about that. He only cares about his reputation as a good guy.
So I just have a link to a Twitter thread where they talked about all of the other horrible things about him that I didn't have time to like type them all out because I'd be here forever. So I just said I'll go to the Twitter thread and read out some more things about him. So for legal reasons, these are allegations. It says in the thread and I should say it myself. So he's always fighting with someone on Twitter. He's had beef with like, I can't even name all the people he's had Twitter fights with, but he's really childish in his like fights. And like they're not smart arguments.
Yeah.
So he insults people on Twitter as well. He's made fat-phobic remarks and shamed people for their appearance. So like, just for example, someone said never heard of her about Ronnie, and he replied and said, P.S. Is it like a new law hate crime to be rude to morbidly obese people asking for a friend?
For God's sake.
So like, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not clever, it's not smart. It's like, oh, someone insulted me on Twitter, and think of like some random person at home versus him with like a bajillion followers.
Yeah.
And he's calling them out for being fat. Like, it's so childish. And then someone else said, I genuinely want to fight Ronnie Radke, and he replied and said, at first glance I thought you were Demi Lovato after eating a peanut that she was allergic to. Old quagmire face swollen AF.
I'm embarrassed for
It's just
him.
rude, and like, I don't know, it's not smart, it's not funny, and like, stop bullying people's appearances. Like, so he also believes in reverse racism.
Nice.
So he thinks you can be racist against white people. Problematic in itself. I won't even get into it. So in 2012, there was this whole situation with another band called I.C. Stars. They were set to open for Falling in Reverse, but a few months before the tour, they were caught with weed in their van and got arrested, so Ronnie kicked them off the tour. I.C. Stars felt bad for disappointing their fans, so they offered to tour with no pay. Ronnie agreed and made them sign a contract saying they couldn't tell anyone. And then he started threatening them with violence because he didn't like the guy's stupid face, apparently. Kicked them off a tour a day or two after that. His tour manager physically assaulted I.C. Stars' manager. There's like, it's just like this big messy situation. But he started kicking fans out of shows who were chanting like, I.C. Stars, because they wanted to see the band.
I hate him. He just sounds so like
he's just a dickhead, like just
pure dickhead.
that's
behavior.
it. Like, these aren't things that I'm like, the man should die, but like, he's just a really horrible person.
Is he married?
He's been with the wrestler, what's her name, Soraya? She's the one that they made the movie about, Fighting With My Family.
Oh, the Irish one, no?
No, she's English.
Oh.
They're together years, and I follow her on Instagram, and then obviously she posts with him sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I'm so angry looking at his face.
Is she alright? Like,
oh, obviously not. I don't know if she's like the most intelligent person in the world, and you can purely base that off the fact that she's going out with him.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He's also like been playing shows and spit on fans and cursed at them. He told a photographer to kill himself when the photographer asked for a photo credit because Ronnie posted the guy's photo. The guy was like, oh, it'd be cool if you could credit me if you're using my photos, and Ronnie told him to go kill himself.
What?
Yeah. He threatened music critics with violence when he didn't receive the reaction he wanted from them. There's a band called Get Scared, and one of the guys from it, Nick Matthews, he attempted suicide, and he tweeted, yeah, goodbye, with like pills on a table. And Ronnie like sent it to his girlfriend, and they were like making fun of him.
Is this the wrestler girlfriend?
I'm not sure. He's also transphobic, because of course he is, and he like misgendered Laura Jane Grace of Against Me multiple times, and he dead named Caitlyn Jenner. And
Like, is there...
does he have any redeeming qualities?
Yeah, nothing.
He told a gay man he would scare the AIDS out of him.
God, I literally hate him.
I can't stand it. Like, he's a horrible person, and I just hate that like he still has a fan base.
Like, these are the type of people that need to die out. Like, we don't need these kind of people in our world. Thanks very much.
Yeah. Someone asked him, could you please not use the or word? And then Ronnie being like, I'll use the word anyway. He just, like, the statements that he had in prison, he has just to this day, like, he was young, he was 22 at the time, and now he's like in his 30s, and he still like says stupid shit like that all the fucking time.
I thought the whole thing with him killing himself, and it's the story I'd spread around if anyone asked me, was that he got in a fight and punched someone and they died. No. And I was like, oh, poor Ronnie.
He was in a fight where someone died, but he didn't do it.
I don't know why I thought that.
And basically he's just had fights with everybody. He's the worst person in the world, and I can't stand him.
I literally hate him.
Yeah. He's no redeeming qualities.
No,
there's nothing to like about him.
Can we cancel Falling in Reverse?
Yeah.
Why are they still a thing?
We don't like them anyway, so it's fine. But I mean, Dying of Today's fashion, still a bop.
Such a bop. Such a bop.
But yeah, that's it. That's the episode. We hate Ronnie Radke episode.
I feel sorry for Max Green. Do I feel sorry for him? He's a bit weird.
I mean, he went and joined Falling in Reverse.
Oh yeah, I don't feel sorry for him. Never mind. What a dope. But he left them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's fine. That wrestler's name was Paige.
Her wrestling name was Paige,
yeah.
and then she's gone back to Soraya now because she's wrestling with different companies. She was called Paige in WWE.
She's
I know too much about wrestling.
A few head knocks.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, escape to fate, right? So will you ever... No, we just won't, will we? We'll never go back and listen to them.
No. I mean, I might stick on Dani as your latest fashion for like a nostalgic little bop, but...
No, they were one of the bands I wanted to see at Leeds because I said to myself, I will never go see these again. So may as well while I'm here.
I was actually thinking about the fact that you had seen them recently, and I was like, would I like to see them? And I was like, Do you know what? I don't like the music enough. I really don't.
Yeah, they just played all the big songs, all the songs you know. Your man was wearing a top hat. Thought it was Ronnie Radke, so that maybe would have made my whole experience different. They're grand, like, sing along, they're entertaining, but nothing spectacular.
Have you actually seen what they look like?
No.
I've only really seen a few pictures, but I think it's been...
What does Max Green look like? I have a
I don't know.
picture of him with
I don't know, like, who is who. But, like, they're just so...
Oh.
They're a lot. Putting in the effort with the appearance. They've got
Yeah.
some eyeshadow on. They're, like, just cool dudes in a band.
Oh, yeah.
These are not just guys in like, other band tees standing around. These have, like, an image.
Yeah, that was the image. Is that that's their second album, is it?
I think it's the self-titled.
That was it. But I was like, what is that? That's a lot.
That is an album cover that you chose to distribute to the world.
But it feels like if any of them showed up wearing a colour that wasn't black, everyone would be like, dude, what are you doing? I bet you that's Max Green.
Let's Google Max Green. Let's find him. We need to know what he looks like.
Oh.
He looks different in every picture.
Oh, he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing, does he?
He's not as cool as I thought he may be.
No.
So, tell me about your songs.
So which one are we going with first?
Song skip first.
Okay, so what I've written down here with my notes is I Am Human, which is an album. And then I've just written I Am Human, terrible song. So that would be my song to skip. It made me cringe so much.
Oh, do you know what? I actually kind of like that album, but
That song is awful.
It's not like every song is a banger. It's just like it was easier to listen to than some of the other ones. My song to skip is a song called Remember Every Scar.
Oh god,
Did
that
you
sounds depressing.
I'm just gonna Google the lyrics for a second.
Yeah, here's the lyrics to I Am Human. I am strong, I am weak, I am everything in between. I am proud to be me.
That's like the album. It's a little bit of everything.
I know, I'm just like, please make me cringe.
So the chorus of Remember Every Scar, it's like, life can turn you upside down, chew you up and spit you out, tear you up, it never ends. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Oh, and then it goes, hold on to that heartbreak, hold on to that hell you have to pay. Sometimes it's the only thing that gets you by. Hold on to that heartbreak. Yeah, it repeats, then it says, all the tragedies make you who you are. Remember every scar. It's just very cheesy. And
I don't know if it's because other bands probably have lyrics that are just as cheesy, but I don't know if it's the way they sing them or something.
I don't know what's going on with them at all. I honestly thought I would enjoy them more than I did. I was like, these are
So did I.
disappointing.
Very disappointing.
What's your song on repeat?
It's an obvious one. Situations are irrelevant now. She loves the way that I tease.
I love the way
if you
that
say
she
the words
breathes.
escape the
I
fate
touched
me.
her. Ooh, she touched my. You have to go to that part.
If you say the words escape the fate to me, that's just what comes into my head. Situations. And if that came on now, I'd listen to it. I wouldn't skip it.
No, I'd definitely listen to that album
Yeah.
again because there's so much nostalgia attached to it for me. But I actually chose a song off the EP.
Oh.
So I chose that song, As You're Falling Down, As You're Falling Down. Which now that you sing it sounds exactly like Situations.
See? They're probably having us on and all these songs are the same and they've just changed the title. And some of them, they've even given it the same title and we haven't.
Or can put the same song on different albums. Why not?
The songs off this album, though, are good. This is Dani's Realized Fashion. But that last song, would you really end on that?
Is that the day I left the womb?
Yeah, now we know about his mother.
Mother!
Where are you today?
Yeah,
You
his voice.
took a piece of me to tell you what it was.
I thought he hated women because of her anyway.
Yeah.
Ronnie?
Yeah, fuck you, Ronnie.
Oh, we did have to discuss a little issue where we're going to be away for a few weeks, so there will be a few weeks without a podcast.
Yep.
But we will be back the bank holiday weekend in August, so that's when we'll record again, so it'll be the following week that we
Yeah.
post an episode. Hopefully everything goes well, we don't die on the planes or anything
Right,
like
well,
that.
that's grim. But in the meantime, if you haven't, go back and listen to our previous episodes.
Yes.
There is loads of them up there.
We've got a lot of episodes up now,
We do.
so there's plenty to listen to.
I recommend the Good Charlotte one. That one always makes me laugh.
Yeah. I think our Bring Me the Horizon one is one of the most popular ones as well, and it's probably just because of the band, but
Yeah.
I think it's a good episode as well.
I can't really remember that one. Oh, sorry. When I think of Bring Me to the Horizon now, all I think of is their first album and how bad it was.
Yeah. So do you know what band you will be doing
I've
after our
literally
hiatus?
just thought of it on the spot there. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Don't know anything about them, so it could be the most exciting episode. It could be. Who knows? I'm gonna do Seosin.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's happening.
I don't know anything about them.
I know.
In fact, I don't even know one of their songs.
All I know is that your man left to join the Used.
Yeah. And then there was Beef.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing... The albums always end up overlapping.
They do.
love
Yeah. So that's it. I'm gonna have to go off and learn all their albums and all about them now. But look, it's a learning process, guys.
I always get the fear because I'm like, how many albums do I have to listen to before we record?
Yeah, let's check that out. Okay, I'll tell you now. I'll tell you right now. You can listen to it while you're on your holidays. They have dun. 1, 2, 3. Sure, look.
Oh, definitely do.
It's a very short episode, guys. Okay. I'll come up with some good stuff in between.
So, make sure that you're following us on social media because we will continue to post content even while we're away. Maybe not while I'm away. Maybe. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be seeing Architects and Sleep Token while I'm away, so I'm sure I can post some of that content.
If I make an attempt to make a post and it's not that funny, please give me as many likes as you give Dani.
So follow us. We are Foundations of Emo on Instagram and TikTok, and we are Foundations Emo on Twitter. I don't really post there apart from I just retweet like funny things about the Fall Out Boy tour that I see.
But hey, if you're going to the Fall Out Boy tour and you want to read about them,
yeah,
good place to go.
Yeah, find out all about the Fall Out Boy tour on our page. Then I just retweet what other people say.
Let us know if you like Ronnie Radke. Radke? Radke? Radku? Radhey? I don't know. Who cares?
Rad fuck him. But anyway, thanks for listening.
Okay, thanks. Bye.